Welcome, everyone, to the NEKO-ALPHA show live from Tokyo, bringing you the Japan-related NFT Alpha and more from the United Neko Alliance here on the ground in Japan. I'm Reno, here with my co-hosts and United Neko Alliance co-founders, Neil and Steve.
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Good morning.
In today's show, we'll have a Spaces recap from our event a couple days ago. We'll talk about the Alpha, of course. We'll get into a few community updates, and let's let people know about some events coming up, IRL events here in Tokyo, and a few other things. Before we get started, please remember this is not financial advice. Please do your own research. This is just our commentary, info sharing, and hopefully it's a little bit entertaining as well. So with that, let's jump into, well, actually, before the Spaces recap, we haven't had a chance yet to talk about NFTNYC. So gentlemen, how did it go?
Yeah, we haven't had a chance to talk about. We haven't had a chance to recover from it, have we, Steve?
I'm still recovering.
Yeah,
Just kind of the
it was
NFTNYC hangover.
it was intense, man. But it was so good.
So Neil
Got,
came the day before, and we kicked things off. Went to a pizza place by Times Square, had a massive pizza with anchovies and what else was on there? Pepperoni, olives, and we were doing some hot dogs at the street vendors. We started things off the right way, and then we proceeded to a bunch of parties,
well,
events.
I don't know about that,
stuff.
Steve. I like in retrospect, I'm thinking like, yeah, I get there and I'm like, my first meal, it's like, yeah, let's have a pizza, right? And then
That was your
not
request.
thinking, not really, yeah, it was my request, and not realizing that like basically every big event for the rest of the week, the food would be pizza.
Mhm.
But anyhow,
And bagels.
had yeah. But yeah, we hit the ground running, didn't we? Because like on that first on the Sunday, that event, we were gonna meet up with Nao Kondo from Osagi Ducks, and we went to that great event there right on Juneteenth, a really fantastic diversity related event with
Yep.
just some amazing Black creators. And when we were there, we saw just by coincidence Nifty Nick and Pio show up. So we got to talk to them and introduce Now. And because of that,
Yep.
we were able to go to their breakfast event the next morning, which was just awesome.
Yeah, that was. Also at that first event, we met Drift, who is a really really popular photographer. Sort of as a PTSD survivor. One of the things he does for therapy is he goes to very high places and takes pictures. And it's just been really a popular guy. He was at VCon as a speaker, and he was there at that event. It was really great to meet him as well. And then, of course, meeting Pio and Nifty Nick. Then we went to their live recording the next morning, and we went to their happy hour a day later, which is great. And then
I got a picture of that here. I think this is we brought Akim from Very Long. Oh, this was not, that was where that, but this one's at. Yeah, this is with Captain Kicks, right? At the event there on the rooftop at Mr. Purple.
So that night things started pretty. Yeah, go ahead. No.
I was just going to say his costume turned a lot of heads. And he was easy to spot. We ran into him all week long in the conference venue, especially, and also took him to some other places. But every time he was almost like it's kind of like a lighthouse there with the big and often attracted. So there was really a lot of people in New York from Japan, a lot of creators, developers, people with projects, and they would all spot Akeem and they all knew who he was. So every time we spotted him and went over to talk to him, we met another half dozen people from Japan. Met the dev from NTP and Big Hat Monkeys. And yeah, so many people.
So many people, and I just saw on Twitter that costume was making the rounds at every event, every party for 3, 4, or 5 days in New York, and then he was doing an interview back in Tokyo, and I can't believe that in costume. So that thing has really survived. It's not. It's looking like it's been making the rounds. So I should share that
No,
tweet.
yeah, no kidding. I mean, that picture there with Captain Kicks on the roof of Mr. Purple there, it had some pretty hard rain there I mean, there was an indoor part to the party where most of the people, but we were out on the rooftop there when it and got hit by a little rain too. So he even got rained on with his cardboard costume. But yeah, it held up well.
Got rained on, got crushed.
Kudos on his craftsmanship there for making his. I mean, he made that all himself, I think.
For sure, it got crushed and was in the subway. It was all over the place. So.
So yeah, we checked out a lot of great events. We saw, yeah. I mean, we were at between the bunch between the two of us, we really hit a lot of events. The Doodles, Ape Fest, 10KTF.
Yeah, I was going to say in no particular order.
Here's a shot from 10KTF. New Tokyo. That really was quite wild.
So we hit a bunch of events, and we were just so busy. We should have been tweeting in real time, but we didn't. But I'm planning to tweet a couple, some pictures and a few things, and maybe a recap of the event. This event was really amazing. They created a Japanese street scene as the setting for the party, the set for the party, and it was really cool. It was a really great energy, as I wrote there. But
yeah, and they dropped their trailer, right?
Dropped the trailer for the next stage of
that's right here. I won't show the whole thing, but sorry about that.
That was amazing. And then Neil and I were partying at Ape Fest, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we even saw the Goblin McBurger truck go by. Yeah.
Not to digress too much, but I meant to ask you guys in Spaces the other day. Did you have a feeling like I know hard to sort of quantify, but do you have any feeling about how many different Japanese projects were represented there? In addition just to all the individuals, but did you get a feeling for like, oh, there's people here actually, with projects that they're not just curious, they're here to promote or make connections or things like that. Just curious about numbers, if you had a sense of it.
Yeah, I really don't know about the numbers because I think we didn't. I don't think we had. We weren't at any sort of. We know that there was a couple like sort of Japanese focused parties.
Mm-hmm.
There was one for well, Galvers had a party, and there was something else hosted by a Japanese company that's doing some Web3 investment or something. So there were a couple of things like that. It's hard to put a number on it. I mean, I don't even know what the number for the for NFTNYC was, but I think I heard something like 30,000 people. So it was there was easily hundreds of people from Japan, I would say.
That's good to know.
And everybody was involved. Everybody was involved with something. I don't think anyone made the trip if they weren't in Web3 and involved with a project that's either out or coming.
Cool. Well, as we always talk about, sort of our mission as well, like making those connections, and so great to see Japanese people getting out and taking the initiative, going to big events like that.
So yeah, and just more just to sort of recap, to put a cap on the NFT NYC thing. I think it definitely is. It's the mood was really upbeat, considering that the market's not particularly upbeat these days. But the mood was incredibly upbeat, and it was just it's pro. I'm sure there's some other pretty good events going on, but I don't think there's anything of this scale where if you had to go to one event and just meet a ton of people and get to sort of go to a lot of project events, then this is definitely it. It's definitely the one, and hope to be there again next year.
For sure, and I'm glad we survived, Neil.
Yeah.
We lived to tell the tale back in
Uh,
Japan.
So yeah, let's go into the recap of the spaces from Tuesday.
Yeah, so we had a Spaces 2 days ago. Thank you again to Sophie-san and NFTJPN. Sophie-san introduced us to two really, really great artists. They're both new mothers who have pursued their NFT activities since becoming mothers, and two really good examples of how I think how well represented female artists are and creators are in Japan. So first, we talked to Suamako-san, and she's got the character Unicorn-chan. She's got unicorns and girls, and she talks about it being cute and fluffy girls. And we really like the art. We really like the cuteness of it, and we had a pretty good discussion about, does it appeal to people overseas, this kind of cute art, like it does in Japan? And I think what we came up with was probably in Japan. There's a lot. It's probably this kind of art. There are a lot of men that are into this kind of art, and then overseas maybe it appeals more to females, whereas men are less into the cute stuff, more into the cool stuff. But there definitely are some geeky otaku people that are into cute Japanese anime. But this kind of art is really, we thought, is very authentic and is really unique and only able to be created by real authentic Japanese creators. We really like this one. And then we also talked to PINKO-san, and PINKO-san has a bunch of different collections. She's got the PINKO Love collection, the Kawaii Icon, and Sushi Girls, and Mini Angel collection. These are really cool. They're very different style, but also very authentic. And these, I would say, are kind of very shiny. We were talking about it being shiny and cute. And one thing that looking at this one with the salmon roe, one thing that I thought was really interesting about it is it's like there's a lot of detail, but there's a lot of subtlety as well. It's not obvious unless you can read the kanji in the middle that what it is, but then you see the salmon roe above near her head. But there's a lot of detail, very shiny style. And then we found out that there's some alpha. I guess we heard that there's going to be a collab that she's doing.
Well, I think she's, I don't know if it's a collab. I think it's a different project. She's one of the main artists for Edo 2022. And this is minting, pre-sale mint on Friday the 8th of July and public mint on 9th of July. It looks like the white list is already closed. So, but I would think that it's still possible to participate in the public sale. Her art is fantastic. So this is definitely one to watch.
Yeah, we're seeing the versatility of her art as well. She's able to do this this project as well, which is obviously looks a lot different than the Sushi Girls one.
And this is generative. So yeah, I'm definitely putting this on my calendar for mints. We'll be having a look at that. So that kind of segues us right into the alpha section here. And so having a look at, here's NFT collection ranking in Japan, the weekly stats. Of course, we see Murakami here at the top, and that actually, speaking of Murakami, we mentioned that there was the event coming on the 28th, Tuesday, NFT ART Tokyo, and it happened, and it was huge. It was huge. Here's a shot from the event. Murakami was there. He was wearing one of his signature hats, and yeah, we've seen pictures. It was just incredibly crowded. Here's our man, the Jader, and he was there. In fact, it seems just about everybody was there. Here's another shot of Murakami pose, and look at the crowds. I mean, the crowds were just crazy.
It was so packed with people. So many people talking about projects and doing stuff. I want to know where Jader was in that picture, where there was actually space, because it was so
Yeah,
packed inside. I was hanging out outside. There was a nice big outside area at that venue.
yeah. It
That was like the only space
says
with
here 2,000.
incredible.
2,000 people. I mean, I don't know. They're saying what, maybe 2,000. Another said 800. Murakami's post said 800, but whatever. It was beyond capacity for the venue, and but I think an amazing. It's another historical event for NFTs in Japan. It's just showing that it's picking up. It's picking up and going crazy, basically. Oh, this shot here was taken by our friend Denjin K. Uh,
Yeah, I had a great
and
talk with Benji
so
that night as well. That was great to see him.
uh, um, so it, and where was I? Okay, yeah. So going back to Murakami's Instagram here. There's this is his latest post. He's showing his picture with his daughter there, but he's the alpha here is our next drop, Murakami Flower 22, is fast approaching, and it's all hands on deck with my production team. So I think that relates to the flowers, or not flowers, the Murakami Lucky Cat coin bank. So um, there's, we've been waiting to see what this Lucky Cat relates to. He just said the next drop of flowers. So I did remember that he was holding back a bunch that he said he was going to drop right after the first drop. So I think that this cat is somehow related to some more flowers coming, but how that is going to play out, do not know. But it's at point 0.7 here, so it could be an entry point. If you're going to get a flower dropped, I can't imagine everyone will, but there may be some. So yeah, it's something to consider. And going back to, so number 2, we've got Meta Samurai. So I think we mentioned these last time, but they're now this is now revealed. So here's a look at the revealed items, and we're seeing a floor of 0.249, 3.3K items, 1.2K owners. That's a little low, but not crazy low. Uh, and then we've got MIRAKO. MIRAKO Cybergirl series. not totally sure about this. So it's only 432 items, 281 owners, '07 floor price. So, but this has been, I mean, this jumped into the number 7 spot. So there's been a bunch of activity there. So I think this has been around for a little while. So I think this could be a case of maybe some insider information. Maybe there's more coming. I had a look at the Twitter. So it says there's a project roadmap posted June 7th. Yeah, okay, so 6. It's not, yeah, season 1 lightning. So it's not really clear like what's going on here, but there's a bit of a pump happening there and something coming in August. And then next one is number 10, Cool Girls NFT. Again, this is a small collection. These have been dropped one by one over a while, and but it's got a very high floor. I just looked at what was the most recent one that was created, and it was I think 12 days ago, and it looked like an auction that went for 4.6 ETH. This is the creator, Imoto Akira. Says he's the CEO of Cool Connect Company. So again, not too much info on this one, but a little bit of volume and a very high floor. And finally, at number 11, we see Singularity Zero Universe Human. So this is the second of 3 species. So that dropped yesterday. This is still pre-reveal. I think the mint price was 09, and it's basically, there might be one here under mint, but it's you could pick it up for around mint price pre-reveal. So if you miss the mint, it's still pre-reveal.
Just a side note on that, at the party 2 days ago, this was one of the featured projects in a gallery that was there. There was a gallery with a lot of international top projects like Bored Apes and Doodles and other ones. And this was one of the ones that was there. There were some other Japanese projects as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I think this is going to turn into some kind of game after they get the third species dropped. So, and that's it for the alpha this week.
Cool. Thank you very much for getting us hip to what's going on here in Japan. And I think with that, we'll get into any community news, things that are coming up. The venue where the Murakami event was held is going to be the new venue for the NFTers meetup, right, Neil?
That's right. Yeah, next Tuesday, July 5th. We'll be there. Watch Twitter for that. I'll tweet, and that will go out on the NEKO-ALPHA Twitter too. Probably later today. But yeah, we've kind of outgrew the last location, so this will be the same location that the big NFT ART Tokyo event was at on Tuesday. I don't think we'll be having 2,000 people. I think we'll be a nice, cozy little crowd of maybe 50 plus. But yeah, it should be really good chance to hang out with a bunch of people in the NFT space here, which.
It was a really cool venue. it was packed, but inside the bar area was nice. There was some it was like a lounge, like some nice comfortable sofas and chairs, and then an outside area with chairs as well. So I think that'll be a really nice venue for our IRL event next week.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I actually haven't been to an event yet at that location personally, but it seems like for whatever reason, they're super friendly to the NFT Web3 community. I don't know if there's an owner or a manager or admin of some kind that puts that together, but tons of NFT related events going on there on the regular. So I look forward to attending one of those sometime soon. Any other community stuff we were going to cover today?
I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
Thought
good.
we might mention if anyone hasn't listened to the interview with Neko, don't forget to have a listen to that. It's really great, quite in depth.
Yeah, we've got 3 interviews up now in the library. Nico from Neo Tokyo Punks, now from Usagi Duck, and Akim from Very Long Animals as well. So those are all interesting, fun to learn a little bit more about the founders' history, the artwork, and what they're trying to do for the future, and also just their take on the NFT community in Japan versus sort of what's going on in North America, for example. Now from Usagi Duck, who actually lives in the U.S., she was really impressed with how positive Japan's community is, and how it seems like on average people are sort of more open to the idea. So that was an interesting comment. Definitely check out that interview and hear more from her.
Yeah, we were talking about Akeem before that he was in New York, and we were hanging out with him. We were also hanging out with Nao-san of Usagi Duck. So we bumped into her at the first party. I think maybe Neil mentioned that. And then we saw her a couple more times. And then she joined me at the Jenkins, the valet party, which was on Monday night. So that was a lot of fun. So we had a good time. She's a really, really great, friendly person. And it was great to get to know her.
Yeah, she was great in the interview, like really high energy. And of course, all the interviews are presented in English. The interview with Neko, we actually conducted it in Japanese, but we also had a real time translator, and we did a little bit of editing so that there's no delay. He starts speaking, and then our translator voice artist came in real time and did the translation. So big shout out to Hope-san, who's a really important mover and player in the Tokyo NFT scene and in Japan at large, and also an artist himself. So shouts out to him for helping us out with that.
Yeah, Hope did an amazing job on that.
Definitely. And then, of course, other shout outs, always important. NFT, pardon me, NFT JPN, Sophie-san over there and the rest of their community for everything they're doing in collaboration with us, and also just what they're doing in general for NFT artists and the community at large in Japan. They're doing a great job, and we hear her every week, Tuesday mornings when we're doing these spaces. Every week, 10 a.m. Tuesday, 6 p.m. West Coast US, 9 p.m. East Coast. Always have some really interesting artists, some good discussion. And the last spaces a couple days ago was great. We had a lot of good back and forth with the artists, a lot of input from the listeners. So that one is still up, of course, on Twitter. So go ahead and check that out if you like. A lot of people come back and listen after the spaces who can't make it for time reasons or whatever it might be. So definitely go check that out. You'll find it near the top in our Twitter feed. So I think with that, a few more plugs. Of course, follow us on Twitter. Of course, like and subscribe to the video that you're currently hearing, and hit the bell if you want to hit the bell, and you'll get immediate notifications every time we go live or every time we post a new interview into the library. Last 2 things, Discord, jump in there. The invite is in our Twitter bio. Check that out. Bubbling up in conversation with our conversation there. and interesting people coming in and having what is that called, Steve? A good vibe, right? It's vibing.
We're vibing.
We're also on Instagram if you want to check that out. And I guess with that, gentlemen, thanks for presenting today, and thanks for the alpha and the spaces recap and hearing about NFT NYC. For all the listeners, hit the Web 2 portals, push us through into Web 3. And yeah, if you guys don't have anything else, let's put a fork in it.
If you're in Tokyo, come by on Tuesday. See you at the Trunk Hotel in Shibuya.
Definitely come check that out.
I'll be there, Neil. Forward to it.
All right, so with that, the tech guy our nerd in the background running the show, let's hit the outro. That's a wrap. Yeah. I wonder if we're talking over the outro again. It's always fun.